divide by 100. So that is small r there, rate of interest per year as a decimal. T is the time period. Time period. Then I is simple interest. The formula for calculating simple interest alone is I equal to PRT. P is as defined earlier, the principal amount you want to invest. R is the rate. Then T is the time. That is it per year? Is it 2 years, 3 years, or months? It can be 6 months, it can be 7 months, or days. It can be 200 days. It can be 300 days. It depends. So it can be given in years, it can be given in months, it can also be given in days. That is the time. Then the rate of interest. Is it 5%, 10%, 50%, or even 2%? So like I said, the interest rate R is in decimal form. So note that R is R% divided by 100. Just take your interest rate as a percentage and divide by 100 to get small r. For those who did simple interest in the secondary school, at that level, you were given interest equal to PRT divided by 100. PRT, capital P, capital R, capital T, divided by 100. But here, we are not divided by 100. We are not using capital R. We are using small r, where small r is capital R divided by 100. We convert it to decimal. Now, using the simple interest, how do you calculate simple interest rate? Now, if you are given the amount, you are given the time, you are given the principal, you are asked to calculate the rate. This is the formula for calculating the rate. Okay. How to calculate the simple interest rate? What we did here was just to write down the formula of calculating the amount, which we saw at the beginning. Then make R the subject of the formula. That's what we have there in equation 2. You can see that in equation 2, we have rewritten the equation to solve for the interest rate R. That's equation 2 there. Let's look at one example. Say you want to have an investment where at the end of the investment time period, the total principal plus interest, that is the amount now, is equal to 26,800. The investment term is T equal to 4 years. And the original principal, T, is equal to 32,000 naira. What is the simple interest rate that you need to end up with 26,800 naira? Here we are asked to find the rate percent. We are given the amount. That is, amount is principal plus interest. We are given the principal and we are given the time. So using the formula for simple interest rate, which is there, R equal to 1 divided by T into A divided by P minus 1. Hello, can you mute your... Somebody is talking there. Can you mute? So we substitute the no variables into the formula or into the equation of R. That's what we have to do here. Sorry. Okay. We have t equal to 4. In place of small t, we put 4. We have A, which is the amount plus interest, is 26,800 divided by P, which is the principal, 22,000. Bracket closes, minus 1. By the time you simplify this, you have 1 over 4. If you divide 1 by 4, you get 0.25. 26,800 divided by 22,000, you get 1.218 minus 1. When you subtract, when you do that, the next line is 0.25 into 0.218. When you multiply that together, you get small r equal to 0.0545 in decimal. Now we need to convert it to percentage. How do you convert to percentage? You multiply by 100, and that gives us the big R, capital R. So 0.0545 times 100 will give us 5.45%. So for a total accrued amount of 26,800 naira with an original principal of 22,000 naira and a term of 4 years, the simple interest rate you will need is 5.45%. Any question?
Doctor, Prof, please come again, sir. Let's redo that calculation again, sir.
Okay. Now let's go back to... Now this is the formula for calculating the rate, the simple interest rate. That is equation 2 there. R equals to 1 over T into A divided by P minus 1, where T is the time, that is the period, usually given in years, sometimes in months.
Sorry, sir. I didn't get that, sir.
I said that equation 2 is the formula for calculating the simple interest rate. Rate, we are talking of rate now, usually given a percentage. But this small arrow is in decimal. By the time you substitute all the equation, the variables there, you get a decimal and multiply by 100. We'll get to that. Now let me explain this equation 2. Small arrow, which is the rate in decimal, is equal to 1 over T. T is the time, usually given in years. Sometimes they will give you in months or days. Into A divided by P. A is the total amount. That is the principal plus interest. P is the principal minus 1. Now let's go to the example. Here we are asked to calculate the simple interest rate now. If you look at the question there, we are given the amount to be 26,800. We are given the investment terms, that is the time, which is 4 years. T is equal to 4 years. The original principal, P, is equal to 22,000 naira. Now the question is, what is the simple interest rate that we need to end up with 26,800? In other words, we are asked to find the rate percent that will give us 26,800 at the end of 4 years. Now, using that from equation 2, it is stated there here, R equal to 1 over T into A over P minus 1. What we need to do is just to substitute all those values given in the question into this formula. We know the value of T, which is 4. So in place of that small t there, we put 4. That is 1 over 4. We know the value of A, which is amount, 26,800. In place of A, we put 26,800. Divide by P. The value of P, which is the principal, is 22,000 naira. We put it there, divide by 22,000 naira minus 1. Now let us simplify. 1 over 4, if you divide 1 by 4, you get 0.25. You can press your calculator to confirm. Now, the next one, 26,800 divided by 22,000 naira. 26,800 divided by 22,000. If you do that, you get 1.218 minus 1 is still there. If you subtract, we have 0.25 into 1.218 minus 1. So 1.218 minus 1 will give us 0.218. We have 0.25 bracket 0.218. That is multiplication now. 0.25 times 0.218. When you carry out that multiplication, you will get R equal to 0.0545, which is in decimal. And I said we need to convert it to percentage to get capital R. So to convert arrow, small arrow to big arrow, you multiply by 100. That will give us percentage. So R, capital R, is equal to 0.0545 times 100. That is, if you multiply it, you get 5.45%. So the conclusion here is, for a total accrued amount of 26,800 naira with an original principal of 22,000 naira at a term of 4, that is 4 years, the simple interest rate you will need is 5.45. So 5.45% for 4 years on the principal of 22,000 naira. At the end of 4 years, you will get a total amount of 26,800. So if you invest 22,000 naira for 4 years at interest rate of 5.45%, at the end of 4 years, your money would have grown to 26,800. Simple interest. Are we okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You can
share
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can share your screen now, sir.
I'll be sharing my screen.
I removed your screen to share something on the screen to explain it. So let me remove my own now.
Okay, you can remove your own so that I can. So you mean they were not seeing my screen as I was.
No, I was writing it out as you were explaining the calculation so that we'll get it.
Oh, okay. So are we okay with that?
Yes, you can
Yes,
see it
sir.
now. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we'll continue. Now, what we just did was calculating simple interest for years. Now, what if we are giving simple interest for months? What do we do? Now we are going to use, let's take an example to make it clearer for us. Okay, let me look at this line. At some point, you may need to calculate simple interest for a period of months rather than years. what do we do? You will use the same simple interest formula, but you first need to convert your number of months into an equivalent number of years. How do you convert it to years? You divide by 12 because there are 12 months per year. So you divide the months given by 12. Now let's do an example of finding simple interest for a period of 9 months. Now you have a principal of 10,000 naira and the rate is 4% with no compound. That is simple interest now, not compound interest. What is the amount of simple interest that you will earn? Amount of simple interest that you will earn. In other words, you are asked to calculate the simple interest that you are going to earn at the end of 9 months. So I'm still going to use the same formula for amount, which is A equal to P into 1 plus RT. From the question, we have from the question, we have P to be 10,000 naira. And T is usually given in years, but here we have it in months. So what do? We divide the month, which is 9, by 12, which will give us 0.75. That is T. And the rate, 4%. Capital R is 4%. The small r will now be 4 divided by 100, which is 0.04. So if we substitute all this into the formula, let's go over it again before we cheating. P, which is the principal, is 10,000 naira. Then 1 plus RT. R, which is the rate, we are giving it 4%. We have to divide by 100 to get it in decimal. That is 4 divided by 100 is 0.04. Now the T is given in months here, 9 months. We need to convert it to years. How do you convert to years? Divide by 12 because we have 12 months in a year. So it becomes 9 divided by 12, which is 0.75. So we'll now substitute everything into the formula. In place of P, we put 10,000 into 1 plus, place of R, we put 0.04 times, in place of T, we put 0.75. When we do that, the last line there is A equal to 10,000 into 1 plus 0.03. That 0.03 is 0.04 times 0.75. So that's why you get 0.03. If you add 1 to it, you get the next line, becomes 10,000 into 1.03. 1 plus 0.03 will give us 1.03. By the time you multiply, you get 10,300. Remember, A is principal plus interest. Now the question says we should look for the interest, not the amount. Here we have solved to get the amount 10,300. How do you now get the interest? A is principal plus interest. So what do? You subtract the principal from the amount. So your interest will now be 10,300 minus 10,000, which is the principal. That will give us 300 naira. You can still do this directly without going through this process. You can use the formula for interest, which I gave at the beginning. I, capital I, is equal to ERT. If you use that, you will still get 300 naira. Any question? Are we there?
Hello, good
Let
evening,
me,
sir.
yeah, go ahead, sir. But can you re-say it again? Let me do it. Follow you as you said. Let me share my screen so that they
Okay.
can understand it clearly. You know, it's mathematics. I'll be writing it as I say it again. Just
Okay.
redo it again.
Okay.
Then, if you can send me this your PDF so I can assist. Thank you, sir.
It's okay. You want to send you the PDF now or later? Is it now?
Later, you can send me now. You can send me now. But I have if you can see my screen now, I have what you are teaching them on the screen. So if you can explain, I'll just follow you as you explain it.
Okay. The questions given, we are asked to find the simple interest. We are given the principal. We are given the time. We are given the rate. It's just to find the simple interest. You can use the second formula I gave at the beginning. Let me go back. Let me go back. Yes. Look at the second equation there. The formula for calculating simple interest is I equal to PROT. This one is straightforward. You can use this one to solve that problem instead of going through the amount to first of all solve and get the amount before subtracting to get the interest. You can use this, you substitute directly. In place of P, you put 10,000. In place of R, you put 0.04. In place of T, you put 0.75. You multiply, you will get 300. This is straightforward. I just wanted you to understand how to get the amount, then subtract the principal from the amount to get the interest. But you can solve it using direct method here, which is I equal to PROT. P is 10,000. Small arrow, you have to convert the big arrow to small arrow. By dividing the big arrow, which is 4%, by 100, you get 0.04. Now, T, they gave us 9 months. And I said, you need to convert it to years. And to convert it to convert months to years, you divide by 12. So the T will be 9 divided by 12 to give us a month. So it will now be 10,000 times arrow, which is 0.04, times T, which is 0.75. If you multiply it together, you will get 300. So I hope that one is clear. Instead of using this one process to get, I just wanted to use this one to explain so that you know how to solve for the amount, then subtract the principal from the total amount to get the interest. Did you get it now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Okay, go ahead, sir. All right, you can share your screen. I try to follow you as you're doing it. So I think
okay, my screen is always on sharing.
Okay. All right.
So maybe when you stop the audio, mine will come up.
Now I'm the host. Okay, but go ahead, share.
Okay, let me stop sharing and share it again.
Yes, share it again.
Okay. Are you seeing
Good. Yes, sir. Yes, we can see it now, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Now the next one, remember, we have done 2 examples now. One, simple interest given in years. Second one, the one given in months. Now, simple interest given in days. How do you do that? You see the same process. Okay. Remember, if you are given in months, to convert it to a year, you divide it by 12 because we have 12 months in a year. If you are given in days, we have 365 days in a year. So we divide it by 365 days to convert it to years. Are we okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. What of leap year?
We don't take that into consideration. The normal year is 365 days.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That is the standard format, 365. Leap year is every 4 years, so we don't use that in calculation.
Okay, sir.
So let's take an example too. Here, we have to find simple interest for a period of 548 days. Short-term loan, investment of 10,200 with a rate of 3.5%. What is the amount of simple interest that you will earn? So instead of still using this normal loan process, we can still go back and use the formula for simple interest, which is I equal to P RT. P is the principal, R is the rate, T is the time. The rate, which is 3.5, we need to divide it by 100 to get the small r. The time is given in days, 548 days. We divide it by 365 to convert it to years. So from the question, we have P to be 10,200. Rate, they gave us 3.5. If you divide it by 100, that will give us 0.035. Time, we have 548 days. If you divide it by 365, you get 1.50137. Are we okay with that? So you sub all these variables into the formula. That will, when you simplify that, you will get 535.99. But if we use this formula for amount, it's still the same process. When you do it, you get the amount, which is 10,735.99. Subtract the principal, which is 10,200, from the amount. That will give us 10,000. Sorry, that will give us 535.99. So I advise you, if you are looking for the simple interest, always go back to this formula. P, sorry, let me go back. P equal to, sorry, I equal to P RT. Always use that formula if you are looking for the simple interest. Always use I equal to P RT. Except they ask you to find the amount before you can now use the formula for finding the amount. So for simple interest, it is I equal to P RT. Remember the R, you have to divide by 100 to get the decimal form of it. Then the T, if it's not given in years, if it's given in months, divide by 12. If it's given in days, divide by 365. After doing that, just substitute into the formula and multiply everything together. So from our question, what you will get, sorry, from our question, what you will get is interest I equal to P. P is 10,200. P times R. R is 0.035 times T. T is 1.50137. So when you multiply it together, 10,200 times 0.035 times 1.50137. When you do that, you are going to get 535.99. Are we getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll continue. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You wanted to ask question? Okay, let's continue. Now, if you are asked to find the missing variable in simple interest calculation using the amount, the formula for finding the amount, these are all given here. But I will advise you to use the second formula, which is interest equal to PRT. Always use that to get the other variables. If you are looking for R, use I equal to PRT, make small r the subject of the formula. So your small r, sorry, I have to start saying it with my mouth. I thought I was going to use the amount method, but that is just for you to understand. Here, your small r will be interest divided by PT. Your small r will be equal to interest divided by the principal times time. Your time, if you are going to get the time, it will be small t equal to interest divided by PR. If you are going to get the principal, it will be P equal to interest divided by RT. Note that your small r must be converted to decimal. And your t, if it's not given in years, you must convert it to year. If it is in days, you divide by 365. If it is in months, you divide by 12. And if you are solving for r, small r equal to interest over PT, after getting your value, you must multiply by 100 to convert it to percentage. You don't give your answer in decimal, especially the small r. Small r, you don't give it in decimal because it is usually given in percentage. You rate, if you are investing any money, they will tell you, okay, it is 5% per annum, 4% per annum. They will not give you in decimal, they must give you a percentage. So if you are calculating R, after getting the value in decimal, you must, underline that must, you must multiply by 100 to get it in percentage. Are we okay with that? Are we okay with that?
Yes, sir.
So now,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what if you are given the amount, the principal, you are asked to find the rate. So you now use this formula you are seeing on the screen. To find the principal is equal to the amount divided by 1 plus RT. To find the rate, small r is equal to 1 divided by T into A divided by P minus 1. Then to find the capital R, you multiply small r by 100. To calculate the time, T is equal to 1 over R into A divided by P minus 1. Then your simple interest using the, if you are given amount, is A minus P. Any query? Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question as far as simple interest is concerned? So that we can go ahead and look at compound interest. When are we supposed to end this lecture? I think I will be able to conclude the compound interest and
9 o'clock. 9.
Okay, we still have 15 minutes. Let's quickly look at the compound interest. Can we continue, or do we understand? Do we have any questions as far as simple interest is concerned?
Yes, sir.
So I should continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let
Yes,
me
sir.
let me share my screen. Let me put the compound interest.
Prof, still send me the document too.
I will send it to you after the class. Would that be okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
No, let me. Okay, I'm sure you can see my screen now. What is
Yes, yes.
now?
But you have not opened it.
I've opened it.
No, it's the folder we're seeing.
It's open on my side here. Let me go back and let me go back. Okay. Is it on now? Are you see?
Yes, yes, it's on now. It's on.
Okay. What is compound interest? Now, first of all, interest is the cost of using borrowed money, or more specifically, the amount a lender receives for giving you money, for giving money to a borrower. When pay interest, the borrower will mostly pay a percentage of the principal. So the concept of interest can be categorized into simple interest or compound interest. So the first one we did was simple interest. Now let us look at compound interest. Hold on, please. I just want to run through. Now, simple interest is really used in real world because it does not give maximum benefit to the borrower. Why is it so? If you are given a loan for 2 years, you have to pay interest of 5% or 10%. At the end of every year, the interest will just be 10 naira. But with compound interest, the interest of the 10 naira interest is plowed back into the principal. We added to the principal. After the first year, remember you invested, let's say you invested 100 naira for 2 years. For the first year, you pay 10 naira interest, or you get 10 naira interest. But with compound interest, they won't give you the 10 naira, they will add it back to your principal. For the second year, instead of your principal to be 100 naira, it will now be 110 naira. So you are not going to get interest on 110 naira instead of the 100 naira. So your interest is plowed back into your principal, will be added back to your principal, and the interest will now be calculated on the new principal. That is what compound interest is all about. But the simple interest, it is not so. Every year, they'll tell you are going to be getting 10 naira for if you invest 100 naira. Every year, they'll give you 10 naira. The second year, they'll give you 10 naira. So at the end of 2 years, you get 20 naira. for your 100 naira. But in compound interest, it is not so. It is calculated every year that the money will be plowed back. The interest will now be calculated on the new principal. That is what compound interest is all about. So most borrowers, they tend to use compound interest. Now, let's look at a simple example. Let me go to this. Simple example here. A young man at the age of 20 invested 1,000 naira into the stock market at 10% annual return rate. 10%. At the age of 65, when he retires, the fund will grow to 72,800 or approximately times the initial amount. That is compounded money. You will see how it works. Let me give you a simple example. I just use that to illustrate what I mean by 10% compound interest. Let me give you, let me look at the example. Let's take this. For example, a loan, the 10% interest rate compounded semi-annually as an interest rate of 10%. 10% per annum. Since it's biannually, semi-annually or biannually, that is 5% every half a year. For every 100 naira borrowed, the interest of the first half of the year comes out to be 100 times 5%, which is 5 naira for the first year. Now, how do you calculate for the second year? Remember, I said compound interest. You calculate the interest for the first year, add it to the principal, and find the interest of that again. Now, for the second half of the year, the first principal was 100 naira plus the interest of 5 naira. That will give you 105 naira. Then take again another 5% of that. If you do that, that will give you 5.25 at the end of the second half of the year. So the total interest for the year will be 5 naira plus 5.25 naira, which is 10 naira 25 kobo. That is a simple explanation of simple interest. You calculate the interest, add it to the principal before you calculate the next interest. If you calculate the next interest, add it to the principal before you calculate. If it's 3 years, first year interest, you get it, add it to the principal. Then you now have a new principal. Calculate the simple interest on the new principal for the second year. You get the interest, then add it to the principal again to get another principal before you now calculate the third interest. That is simple explanation of compound interest. There's a formula for it. This is the basic compound interest formula.
Lawrence, sorry, Prof. Lawrence, you're raising your hand. Is it you have a question?
Sorry, yes, I'm not seeing, because when I share my screen, I see those raising their hand.
Good evening, sir.
All right, go ahead, sir.
My name is Lawrence Egumawe. Sorry, I'm just before I forgot. Now, in this compound interest, who is of advantage? Is it the borrower or the person that is borrowing? The lender or the person that is borrowing? Because I don't get it. Let's assume, just from your example now, yes. If I borrow let's say I lend 10,000 naira, then the first installment also, or the first month, I pay with interest of say I borrow 10,000 with interest of say 20 naira. It will now
Yes.
be added to the principal. Then in the next payment, I have to pay the
Hello.
Hello, Lawrence, are you there?
paid interest of 10,020 naira.
Now, in compound interest, the lender is the beneficiary, is the one that will.
Hello,
Hello.
sir. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
sir. Yes, I can hear you,
Okay.
sir.
In compound interest, the lender is the one that benefit most from it.
Okay.
Because if you as a lender now, if you lend somebody 10,000 naira, or let's say let's simplify it, let's say 1,000 naira, 10% per annum for 3 years.
Okay.
Good. Now at the end of the first year, 10% of 1,000 naira, that will give you 100 naira, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now that interest, you are not say as a lender, no, don't give me, plow it back, add it to the principal. Let it be with you. I want to collect everything at the end of 3 years. As engaged,
Okay.
end of 3 years. So they will not add it to the principal.
Okay.
So 1,100 for the second year. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So for the second year, your principal will now be 1,100. So
yeah.
you will not pay another 10% on 1,100. Not 1,000 again, 1,000.
Again. 100.
Yes. So you will now calculate the interest on 1,100 for the second year.
Okay.
After getting the interest, you now add it to the principal again of 1,100 for the third year.
Yeah. Okay. I'm clear with it now.
But if it's simple interest says, okay, I want to use this money for 3 years at 10% per annum. What would be the simple interest? It's just straightforward. You don't plow back the interest.
Interest, okay.
You calculate 10% for 3 years. That'll give you 300 naira. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Just it. So that is why the lender benefits from this. So they don't use simple interest. They only want it. They only use compound interest because it favors them.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question? Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Any other question? Because the time is almost up.
Thank you, sir, for the explanation.
Okay. So next week we'll continue from here. I hope next week we're able to finish this and finish the amenity so that we can forge ahead with the other parts of the curriculum.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Bro, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I will send you the PDF.
Yes, the PDF I will share to the students. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good night.
All right.
Thank you,
Good night.
sir.
See you next week.